Hi guys, Rachel here from the Confused Millennial. Welcome back to my channel, and I'm doing kind of like a little bonus intro video for my next video, which is gonna be what I eat in a week while pregnant. While putting that together, it was just getting really long. The first few minutes was literally me just talking about our health journey and how we ended up eating the way that we do, because we don't do goldfish, we don't do a lot of like those standard American diet staples, if you will. There's no judgment here whatsoever if that is how you eat. Our journey has been a very long 3-year journey where we kind of got kicked in the butt with health stuff, emergency room visits, anaphylactic reactions, parasites, all sorts of stuff, which you guys are going to hear about in this video, that really pushed us to change our lifestyle before things got any worse. So I'm really grateful it all happened. The changes to our diet did not happen overnight by any means. Listen to your body, start slow if you want to make these changes. If not, totally cool too. For us, that meant cooking one more thing at home each week. The way I kind of do things today to stop from being overwhelmed is like, okay, I'll try one new recipe each week or one new recipe each month if I'm kind of in a place of burnout or just my plate's really full at that time. I fully believe cooking, eating should be fun, not stressful, and finding ways to go ahead and create that type of environment in your life is really key. The other thing I will suggest looking into is human design. I love it. I have a whole podcast episode with a wonderful Jenna Zoe all about human design. If you don't know what human design is, it's basically like a blueprint for your soul, really showing you where you've been conditioned by family, friends, society that puts you out of alignment for your unique way of showing up in the world. And one of the aspects in your human design chart is actually your digestion. And for me, this was one of the biggest things that like was just so cool to learn about, because what my ideal digestion in human design is so against what so many healthy experts like Ayurvedic practitioners, traditional Chinese medicine recommend. And that is, my body actually thrives off of cold foods and drinks, which if you know anything about Ayurvedic, TCM, cold is like the biggest no-no. And I used to get so mad when I would talk to Ayurvedic practitioners and being like, no, I need ice in my water. Trust me, I feel this in my bones. And they were like, it's the worst thing you can do for your body. And I was like, no, it's not. And then I saw human design. I was like, see, I'm not crazy. I knew it. And that's kind of my whole like takeaway is everybody is different, just like every baby is different. Figuring out what works for you may not work for somebody else. Human design is a really cool little insight tool for you. Some people thrive by eating after dark, which like has been poo-pooed on by the health society, saying don't eat past X hours and stuff like that. You can look up your chart at myhumandesign.com. You do need your exact birth time though to get that information on digestion. So pull out your birth certificate if you don't know it. Get into our health story. You guys follow me on Instagram at the Confused Millennial. You know that my daughter ended up in the ER a week after her first birthday last year. We had found out she had parasites a few weeks before that. After I posted that we were in the ER, I got some suggestions from some local friends. We took her to go see a functional medicine doctor who was gonna try something called NAET on her to see if we could get rid of her food sensitivities that way. But when we went to go see the functional medicine doctor, he actually told us, without us telling him anything about the parasites, that yes, she had parasites. Interestingly, her parasites came from my husband, Eric. At the age of 25, he was diagnosed with psoriatic arthritis. He has been off all medications for a few years, and we've been looking at other ways for him to manage his pain, especially with everything happening health-wise in the world. In 2020, he really didn't want to be on the medication because A, it's toxic, but it's also immunosuppressant. He ended up working with a functional medicine doctor too last year. That sent us down a crazy journey of elimination diet. And I'm not talking like, oh, get rid of dairy for 3 weeks. I'm talking 8 months dairy-free, including eggs, which my daughter had tested positive for 6 months prior, an allergy, which she no longer has. Grain-free, which is way more intense than gluten because that includes corn. That includes a lot of the gluten-free alternatives don't even work for grain-free. No sugar. Yes, natural occurring sugar like fruit was okay. Maple syrup is okay. Anything in its whole pure pure form that you could like forage is okay, but like no refined sugar, which means most store-bought breads aren't okay. Like there's a lot of things. Once you start reading labels, sugar's in basically everything. So even if you think, oh, I don't need a lot of sugar, you probably eat more than you think. Then on top of that, every month at their appointments, the functional medicine doctor would run a scan that would tell us what other foods he needed to eliminate for a month period. So sometimes that was a specific type of nut, sometimes that was meat, sometimes that was all sorts of stuff. And this went on for 8 months, and everything culminated with a 3-week vegetable juice feast. Why I'm telling you all this? During that 8-month period, I had to cook basically everything from scratch. I cannot tell you the last time I bought a store-bought cookie. I just want to throw that out there because we don't eat a lot of processed foods, and I don't want anyone to feel bad if they do. It's not something that changed overnight for us. It's something that was a 3-year journey that really, obviously, the pedal was on the gas pretty heavy all of 2020. It was a slow transition. It's not something I recommend doing overnight. It's not something that your body would probably respond well to doing it overnight. But we had done salt, oil, sugar free for a month. We had done so many different things and just cleansing out the body over these last few years. We are definitely not perfect, and I will share that with you guys too. But I also don't want anyone to like watch this video and walk away being like, well, I should be making all of my cookies. Choose one thing to do differently each week. Especially when you're pregnant, don't make it more stressful than it needs to be. And then how we got rid of the parasites. Babies can't do para 1, para 2, which are like some really great parasite cleanses out there. You do want to make sure you're taking like a binder and all this other stuff. I'm still nursing, so I didn't feel comfortable doing that. I knew more was going on with her than just parasite. I do think it's important to detox no matter what. And one way to do that is through TRS, which is a nano zeolite, and basically it is a heavy metal detox. What do heavy metals have to do with parasites? Well, parasites feed on them. By ridding our bodies of the heavy metals, we kind of starve out a food source for parasites, and most people that start on TRS go through what's called a parasite purge. I went through one, passed like over 100 parasites. If you think you don't have parasites, you probably do. There was also candida overgrowth. That's not just like yeast infection. That's also candida overgrowth happen in the gut. I didn't even know I had that. I don't get yeast infections. I don't have any sort of like signs of that type of stuff. All of a sudden I started seeing stuff in my poop that was candida overgrowth. And if you guys like want my parasite purge in real time, I was Insta storying during it. I was pregnant also at the time. The reason I feel comfortable with TRS with my baby while I'm pregnant is tons of other women have done it while breastfeeding, while pregnant. But the way it works and what makes it different than other detoxes or cleanses, the zeolite kind of acts as like an ion, and it pulls the heavy metals into its orb. So whereas other cleanses, like I was getting ready to do a liver cleanse before I decided to take my pregnancy test, if you watched my pregnancy announcement, and the concern with doing the liver cleanse was that when liver stones and kidney stones were coming out, you just don't know where those toxins are getting lodged or redistributed in the body. Whereas this pulls it into a protective orb, and you either poop or pee it out. It comes out. It's not just floating or getting relodged in an intestine or something like that. I will leave a link to this in the description box below. Their website's, it's a little bit weird, so I'm an affiliate for it. Part of the reason I became an affiliate for it was because the only way to get a discount on it was to become a quote-unquote distributor, which put me off on it for a really long time. But unlike other MLMs, there's no minimum, there's no membership fee. Like it truly doesn't cost you any money to sign up to be a distributor. You just get the benefits of the discount. So via the link in the description box below, when you click their logo, you can go to their website and read tons of articles, read the research that's been done, and read more about how it works. If you want to just buy it full price, you would click shop now. If you wanted to take advantage of that discount, you click become a distributor. That's how we got out the parasites from her. For myself, myself, for my husband. Make sure to hit that notification and subscribe button because in my next video, I will be sharing with you what I eat in a week while pregnant, recipes to try, all sorts of good stuff, sharing my fixed breakfast, my second breakfast, 5 lunches I tend to rotate out, the 5 dinners, desserts, snacks. Yes, I still eat that stuff too. I don't believe in deprivation at all, but I hope it gives you guys some ideas for ways to clean out things in your diet and still have an awesome tasting week ahead of you. Anyway, I'm Rachel. If you have any questions at all, feel free to hit me up on Instagram at @theconfusedmillennial. Have a good one.